What's going on, guys? Welcome back to WWE Network and Show, where I, Graham G.S. and Matthews, break down all the original content I watch on the WWE Network and on Peacock. And today we're talking the May 2nd, 2022 edition of Raw Talk. No Jackie Redmond this week. She had mentioned on Talking Smack that she'd be missing the week of Raw Talk and Talking Smack as well, due to Stanley Cup coverage, I believe. So Scott Stanford filling in for her on this show and probably on Talking Smack as well. He and Matt Camp recapped the opening segment from Raw that saw McIntyre and RK Bro interrupt Roman Reigns and the Usos to kind of set the stage for Sunday's, I guess, main event. I don't know if it's the main event. You would think it would be based on how they're promoting it. I would hope not, because there's nothing on the line. Unless they had a stipulation, but it certainly doesn't seem that way, so I wouldn't think so. But yeah, to hype up Sunday's six-man tag team match pitting the entire bloodline against McIntyre and RK Bro. They then run down the other bigger headlines from Raw on Monday, including the six-woman or six-man tag team match. There were two six-person tag team matches on Raw this week. The first one being, I think it was Alpha Academy and Kevin Owens beating the trio of the Street Profits and Ezekiel. We hear backstage with Kevin Patrick, Alpha Academy, where Gable says that he pinned Elias, not Ezekiel. It is Elias, not Ezekiel. He calls the whole lie detector thing faulty from a couple of weeks ago and plans to expose him on Raw. So he was entertaining while we heard him for as long as we had him here on the show, but this did not last long, so that was disappointing, but it was fun while it lasted, hearing from Gable and I would say Otis, but I don't think he said anything. Jerry Lawler was the special guest on this episode. He says Ezekiel is a liar, and it is indeed Elias. He is not Ezekiel, as he claims to be, and says that he looked better with the beard. He is the ugliest man in WWE without the beard. So, and that wasn't even the nastiest that Jerry Lawler got on the show. He literally, like, flat out fucking buried Cody Rhodes later on in the episode, so we'll get to that momentarily. He is looking forward to Sunday's Backlash six-man tag team match, and Matt Camp once again reiterates that McIntyre wants the gold. That's his whole intention with this match, that he wants the gold, and maybe a win in this match could get him once. I mean, he has literally said that the last three fucking shows. I mean, this guy's either got to get new material, or WWE, more likely, has just got to put on better shows. I mean, the shows have been fine lately, but as far as the build for this match goes, it's been so fucking lazy. They literally went from a tag team title unification match to a standard six-man tag team match. That means nothing. It means nothing. So for Camp to be talking about Drew wanting the title, I mean, I guess he's not wrong. But it's the only thing that this match really has going for it. And even then, I don't really care. But he is excited for the match, so that makes one of us. Jerry Lawler says that Drew has got to be careful what he wishes for as well, so I don't know what he means by that, but that's what he said. They then recap AJ Styles beating Damien Priest, which ensures Damien will not be ringside for Sunday's match between Styles and Edge, before they run down the Backlash card, or the WrestleMania Backlash card, rather. Got to include WrestleMania in there, because that's what it is now. They run down the full, I think, just six-match card for Sunday. There are multiple WrestleMania rematches, Corbin and Madcap Moss, and then the six-man tag team match. So I think it's only six matches still. I don't think they added another one on Raw this week, so that's what we got for Sunday. And I'll probably be there, which it should be a solid show, but, fingers crossed. They then recap Bobby Lashley versus Cedric Alexander. That's all Bobby make quick work of his former Hurt Business partner. And Matt Camp says that Lashley probably just wants gold around his waist, and that's pretty much, the whole point of that match. MVP backstage with Omos, who does not say anything, being interviewed by, I think it was Kevin Patrick, or maybe it was Sarah Schreiber, I don't remember. But he basically just says, MVP says that Bobby's win over Cedric, as talented as Cedric is, doesn't really mean much, because he's the Almighty, so of course he's going to beat Cedric. And he promises an Omos win at Backlash. So really a whole lot of nothing from MVP, who I like, but this was really a whole lot of nothing. They then recap the main event that saw Liv Morgan, Asuka, and Bianca Belair knock off Sonya Deville, Becky Lynch, and Rhea Ripley in six-woman tag team action. They also replay the Seth Rollins-Cody Rhodes segment. And we hear, I don't know if we've had Cody Rhodes yet here on Raw Talk. I feel like we have, and I think we have at one point in the last couple of weeks. I'm not sure. But he introduced himself here, actually, to Kevin Patrick, who I guess he had never met before. And Kevin asked him a question about what happened on Raw, and he gets to that. But before he gets to it, Cody introduces himself to Kevin and says, "Oh, you must be excited to be going to that we're going back over this, overseas for the Clash of the Castle show later on this year in Cardiff or whatever it is." So I thought that was cool of Cody to do that. You don't ordinarily see that sort of thing here on the show. So Cody seems like a really genuinely cool guy, and I thought that was a really nice thing for him to do. But anyway, he calls what Rollins did on Raw cheap. And that, listen, the whole reason why he came back was to win the title. It's unfinished business, and for Rollins to go the direction he went in with his promo was uncalled for, according to Cody. He says Rollins is bringing something out of Cody that Rollins is not ready for. And that was really all that he said. So a really good fired-up promo here from Cody. This was the best thing on the entire show. Back in the studio, Jerry Lawler proceeds to completely bury Cody Rhodes. For what reason, I do not know. I don't remember Cody Rhodes ever pissing in Jerry Lawler's coffee. Maybe Jerry Lawler's mad that he created AEW. Who fucking knows? Maybe Cody Rhodes denied Jerry Lawler a job when Cody was still in AEW. I'm not sure. But he just went on a tangent saying that Dusty had more charisma and talent in his pinky finger than Cody Rhodes does in his entire body. And if Dusty Rhodes couldn't win the big one in WWE, what makes Cody think he can win the big one what makes Cody Rhodes think that he can be the one to win the championship in WWE? This is Jerry Lawler saying that. And then he also makes fun of his tattoo. He says, well, we got to address the 1,000-pound elephant in the room, which, he's not wrong. The tattoo is awful. But it was, I don't know, of all times to bring up the whole tattoo thing, now seems like a strange time to do that. And Jerry Lawler just went in full heel mode here, talking about the tattoo and how Cody has no talent or charisma, calls him a cheap car salesman in the suit that he was wearing on Raw. So, fucking weird. I don't know why Jerry Lawler hates Cody so much, but he wasn't, he acted like a heel for this entire episode. I guess it's better than him just being the bland babyface on these fucking things, and he's boring as shit, and adding no analysis. He's not really adding any insight here either, but it makes it more interesting than if he's just praising everything. So I guess there's that. But even with Drew, he acted like a heel when talking about Drew, but he didn't say that he was talentless and charismaless, so that was interesting. As far as the Raw Women's Championship is concerned, with Liv picking up the win, despite Liv picking up the win, Jerry thinks it's Becky Lynch's time to step up for an opportunity. And to that I say, no fucking thanks. And if we get Becky and Bianca again at Hell in a Cell, I'd be fine with that, just because, it's inside Hell in the Cell, I would think. And obviously Bianca would win. But other than that, I'm not really sure why anyone at this point, after her being in the championship picture for on and off for 3 years, why that would be a good idea. So, he wants Becky back in the title picture, and unless it's Hell in the Cell for a one-off and Bianca wins, then no thanks. Matt Camp is a bit more general about it and says that it's wide open right now as far as who could be next in line for a shot at the Raw Women's Championship. And that was it for this edition of Raw Talk. Nothing really to go out of your way to see. I personally like Stanford more than Jackie Redmond in the host role, although I know it's not permanent. It was just for this week, but I don't know. That's just me. I like him better in the role than Jackie Redmond, but he did a good job here. The Cody Rhodes promo was great. The Jerry Lawler burying for some reason, I don't know why he did that. That was fucking weird. So I guess check that out if you want, in the Cody Rhodes promo specifically. And Alpha Academy was entertaining. MVP didn't really say anything of note, but it was a slightly better than usual edition of Raw Talk here. A lot of recaps, a lot of replays and shit. Just the analysis from Jerry was interesting there at the end, and the promo from Cody as well. So that was the May 2nd, 2022 edition of Raw Talk in a nutshell. Thank you guys for checking out my review here. I appreciate it. Be sure to like the video, drop a comment, share the video, and subscribe to the channel for more daily content, including an all-new #AskGSM coming tomorrow. We have, what was the other video coming tomorrow? I had something else going up tomorrow. Oh, an Obi-Wan Kenobi preview with Chris and Phil. We're breaking down for May the 4th, the upcoming Obi-Wan Kenobi show coming up in a couple of weeks. So that goes up tomorrow. WrestleRant radio excerpts on Thursday. Friday, we got a Bubba Ray Dudley Broken Skull Sessions review. I hope to finally watch it that day and review it that day, so it should be up that day at some point. And a mystery review coming that day as well, so stay tuned for that. Saturday, a SmackDown audio review. We have my Talking Smack review, and on Sunday, my review, hopefully, of, not hopefully, I was going to say the Cody Rhodes Broken Skull sessions, but that'll probably be up at some point next Monday, or around that time next week. Next Sunday, or this Sunday rather, will definitely be my review of WWE Evil's episode on Sasha Banks, as well as the first ever episode of GSM for GM, my playthrough of my GM in WWE 2K22. So a stacked week here on the channel. If you're not already subscribed, please do so, and hit the bell button to be notified every time a new video goes up. Have a great rest of your weekend, guys. I'm Graham GSM Matthews, or week, not weekend, it's only Tuesday, and I'll catch your ass down the road.